Rose, and today I'm going to go over an easy sandwich bread recipe. So I'll first talk about why I like this recipe, and then we'll dive into how to make it. So I'm kind of a beginning bread baker. I've done a lot of baking with sweets and desserts, but I've never really tackled yeast bread up until recently. So I like this recipe because it's really easy and it's kind of foolproof. I've altered the ingredients some. I've forgotten about my dough rising and left it way too long, and every time it still turns out really nice. I've never gotten a bad loaf of bread from this recipe. And the other reason I like it is because it makes a really strong loaf of bread. When I was testing out sandwich bread recipes, I found that a lot of them, the flavor was really good and they were really soft, but they were almost too soft. They didn't really hold together well when I wanted to actually use the bread for making sandwiches or toast or that type of thing. So this bread, it's still very soft and it has a really nice flavor, but it's pretty hearty. So it just makes a really nice sandwich bread. All right, well, we'll dive into it. So I'll go over the ingredients and I'll talk about them as we're adding them in. So the first thing, you're going to need 3.5 cups of unbleached white flour. I've already got that in my bowl. And the second thing, you're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I add a tablespoon of sugar. And that is actually completely optional. And the original recipe doesn't call for sugar. And when I was trying out different bread recipes, a lot of them do call for sugar. And so I started looking into it, and basically in a bread recipe like this, the sugar is not necessary at all. The yeast is gonna get everything it needs from the flour, so you don't have to add sugar. But what it's going to do is it's going to very subtly affect the taste and the moisture content of your bread. And in a sandwich bread like this, you really don't want to add more than 2 tablespoons at the most, I would say. So those changes are going to be very subtle. You're not going to notice them much. But I've tried this bread both with and without sugar, and both ways it turns out great, but I settled on adding about a tablespoon of sugar. So that's totally up to you. And then you're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter, and I melt my butter. This is another alteration from the original recipe. It actually calls for softened butter that you kind of mix into the flour before you do anything else. And I've tried it that way and it's fine, but my personal opinion is that it's a little time consuming and kind of unnecessary. I found that it works just fine to melt the butter and mix it in that way, but I'm a little bit of a lazy baker, so do it whichever way you feel most comfortable. All right, and then you're going to add 1 beaten egg. And this is going to make your bread nice and rich. This was another thing I didn't always see in other sandwich bread recipes that I like about this recipe. All right, and now you're going to add your yeast. And I am using active dry yeast, which means that I have to hydrate it in some water first. So it's 2¼ teaspoons active dry yeast dissolved in 1/4 cup of warm water. And you can use instant or rapid rise yeast if you want, that's fine. And if you do that, you'll just add it right into your mix. You don't dissolve it in water. Okay. And then we are going to add 1 cup of warm milk, and I'm using 2%. It's up to you, whatever you want to use. Now, if you are using instant or rapid rise yeast that doesn't need to be dissolved in water, you'll want to add 1/4 cup to your milk. But since I am using active dry that needed to be dissolved, I'm only using 1 cup as opposed to 1/4 cup of milk. And I've actually found that I don't typically need the full amount of milk. So I start off with just a little bit, and then, or, you know, maybe about half, start mixing things together and then see what it looks like. So once you've got everything in there, going to mix it up, and I like to use the dough whisk. This is easily one of my favorite baking tools. This was given to me as a gift, and I use it anytime I'm baking, really. So you're gonna start just getting everything nice and blended together. And this is gonna be kind of a sticky dough. So you want it to, you don't want it to be real dry, and I need some more milk. See where that gets me. Now this will make 1 loaf of bread. And I think that my loaf pan is a 9.5 by 6, and it fills it out pretty nicely. Okay, now you don't need to get it super well mixed at this step because you are going to need it just a little bit. You just want to get everything starting to combine. All right, so there we go. Okay, now because this is a sticky dough, you're going to want something to help knead it so it's not sticking to your hands a little bit. And I really recommend a neutral oil like a canola oil. You can use flour, but if you do that, you're gonna run the risk of accidentally adding too much flour into your dough. So I have the best luck with oil. So to do that, we're just going to oil your work surface just a little bit. And then you also want to make sure your hands are oiled. Okay, so you're going to turn your dough out. Another nice thing about this dough whisk is it's really good for scraping the bowl because this dough is so sticky, it'll leave some stuff behind, and you can get most of that out with this whisk. All right, now you don't need to knead this dough a ton. In fact, I think the instructions say you really only need it, need to knead it a couple times. I do it a little bit more than that just so it can kind of start to hold its shape a little bit more. And I like to use a dough scraper when I'm doing it because, as you'll see, it makes it a lot easier. So you'll just kind of start your kneading, and as you can see, it's very sticky. So your dough scraper is really nice to just move that dough. And it's gonna get all over your hands, even if you've oiled, that's okay. And I'm sure I need to work on my kneading technique, but this dough is really not too difficult, especially with the scraper. So just work it. All you really want is to get the ingredients combined. You don't need to knead this very heavily. And the more you knead it, it's going to lose a little bit of that stickiness and start to come together a little bit more. As you see, it's all over my hands. That's all right. I'd love to hear from you guys if you have any bread baking tips and tricks, because like I said, I am fairly new to this and I'm just learning. So I know there are some expert bread bakers out there, so please send me your suggestions. I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, feel free to ask any questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability, and if I can't, I will loop in someone who can. All right. There we go. I think we're getting close to where I need to be. Again, I can't say enough how easy this dough recipe is, so I don't think you need to worry too much about kneading it an exact number of times or getting it to really shape up. It's not going to. It's going to stay pretty wet and pretty sticky. So I think probably in a pretty good spot here. So what you're going to do now is you're going to transfer this dough back to, or I transfer it back to the bowl I made the dough in. You can get a new bowl if you want, but you're going to want to oil the bowl a little bit first. Don't need a ton, just enough to kind of coat the inside of that bowl. And then you're going to stick your dough back in there and turn it a couple times so it gets coated in the oil. All right, so this is what it looks like. So you're going to want to let it rise until it's about doubled in size. So my kitchen, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit in here, and it takes about an hour and a half. But turn it out of the bowl again, and maybe just a tiny bit more oil. It's gonna have some oil on it from the bowl. So you're gonna wanna kind of punch this down, which is really just a light pressing. At least that's how I do it. And you're going to want to turn this out. All right. That smells so good. Okay, so from here, the next thing is you're going to want to put it in your bread pan. And you're going to want to oil that pan or butter it first. And like I said, I think mine is, it doesn't say, but I think it's maybe 6 by like 9 or 9.5 inches, and that seems to be a good size. So once your pan is oiled, you can do this a couple of ways. You can kind of just shape your dough into a rectangle like the pan, about the size of the pan, and put it in there. And as it goes to its second rise, it's gonna rise to kind of fill up the space. I actually like to roll my dough into a log first. And the only reason I do that is because it makes the top a little bit smoother. So it's purely cosmetic, not necessary. But do whatever you prefer. So I just kind of pat it out into a shape roughly the size of the bread pan, and then start on one end, and you're gonna just start to roll it and kind of pinch those seams a little bit so you don't get cracks in your bread. You're just gonna roll it up, and it does not have to be anything perfect or pretty to look at, because like I said, as this dough goes through its second rise, it's gonna expand to fill that space. I'm gonna pinch my edges, just gonna cover up some of those cracks. shape this thing a little bit. And then just set it in your pan. And now you're going to let it go through a second rise. And I let mine sit for about an hour. It's not gonna quite double in size, but mine usually starts to dome over the top of the bread pan. So that's sort of what you're looking for. So you'll wanna cover it loosely again with a kitchen towel or something like that and let it sit. And then once it's gone through its second rise, you'll bake it for 350, and I bake mine for about 35 minutes. This is another alteration from the recipe. I think it calls for around an hour. I don't like my sandwich bread, really crusty on the top. So 35 to 40 minutes is a good time for me because the bread is done, but it's still kind of soft on top. So just play around with that time a little bit and see what works best for you. And then once it's done, you'll take it out and let it cool on a cooling rack. And you want to let it cool completely before you try to cut it. And that's it. That's as easy as it can get. And I highly recommend this recipe. I hope you guys give it a try. And like I said, please let me know if you have any questions and send your tips and tricks my way. All right, happy baking. Bye.